Hi, I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick. I'm a certified yoga instructor and I want to talk to you today about mountain pose. Tadasana pose is the foundation of any yoga practice. We like to say that you want to find your mountain in every pose. What that means is it looks like you're just standing there, but basically we're going to start at our feet and talk our way up. So spread your toes out wide. Make your feet as big as they can be, finding contact in all of your toes and all four corners of your feet. Next, you want to make sure that your pelvis is in line. So you want your tailbone to be tucked slightly under so that your ankles, your knees, and your hips are all in a straight line. But you don't want your low back to sway back like this. So we're going to tuck the pelvis in and shorten the ribs down, engaging the core muscles. Next, you want to make sure that your shoulders are back and down your back. Shoulders are away from the ears. Crown of the head is reaching up towards the sky. You also want to make sure that you tuck your chin in just a little bit so that the spine all the way from the base of your skull down through your pelvis is in line. You can play around with your arms in Tadasana. You can offer them out to the side. Sometimes you'll have them at your heart. You may want to reach them up, lengthening the pose towards the ceiling. Always try to find your mountain during your yoga practice. Hi, I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick. I'm a certified yoga instructor and today I want to help you walk through Child's Pose. Child's Pose is a restorative posture that can be used at any point in your practice. It's great for calming the body, cooling down, and it's awesome at the end of a day when you just need to chill out and get ready for bed. So we're going to start by sitting back on your feet, sitting tall up through the crown of the head. You're going to fold forward over the legs and extend the arms out to the front of your mat. You want to bring the chest down as close to the legs as you can. If this is uncomfortable on your knees, feel free to raise the hips up so you can get the fingertips reaching out as far as you can. Finish the posture by resting your forehead on the ground. Alternatively, you can spread the knees out wide to the edges of the mat and let your belly sink down lower towards the floor. Feel free to rest in this posture as long as it feels good to you. And always stay mindful of the breath, filling the belly and around the back and the hips. Hi, I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick. And now we're going to walk through a flow from two poses called cat and cow. So we're going to start on our hands and knees in a kneeling position. You want your wrists directly under your shoulders and your knees directly under your hips. Slightly tuck the tailbone and engage the core so you have a nice, strong, flat back. On an inhale, you're going to drop your belly, raise the tailbone and the gaze up. This is called cow. On an exhale, you're going to press through the hands, lifting the backs of the shoulders up towards the ceiling, tucking the tailbone, bringing the gaze between your knees towards your toes. Continue this cycle on your breath. Inhaling, looking up, cow pose. Exhale, press through the hands, lifting the shoulders up towards the ceiling, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin, cat pose. Continue cycling on your breath, 3 to 5 cycles. This helps warm up the spine and get you ready for your practice. Hi, I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick. And now we're going to walk through a simple seated twist. So start seated on the floor with your legs in a comfortable cross-leg position. Next, you want to make sure that your sit bones, which are the bottom of your pelvis, are comfortably seated making contact with your mat. So that might mean you need to make an adjustment side to side just to make sure that your pelvis is lined up straight with the floor. Next, you want to sit up tall and reach the crown of your head towards the ceiling as much as you can. Now for the twist. Take your left hand and reach it to the outside of your right knee. You can take your right hand and place it behind your tailbone on the floor behind you. Reaching up through the crown of the head, turning the belly button towards the right, coming into a twist. You can deepen your twist by taking your gaze all the way over your right shoulder. Release on an exhale of your breath. Only go as far as feels comfortable, as this move is designed to warm up the spine at the beginning of your practice. And always make sure you do both sides of a move. So going to the left, you take your right hand to the outside of your left knee, left hand behind the sacrum, lifting up through the crown of the head, turning the belly button towards the left, with an option to turn the gaze to the back of the room. Keeping your spine in line is the most important thing you can do anytime you're twisting. Hi, I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick, and right now we're going to work on Cobra Pose. Cobra Pose is a pose that happens on your belly, and it's a back bend. So start by bringing the palms of your hands underneath your shoulders and rest your chest and your chin on the mat. The tops of your feet are resting on the floor. On an inhale, you'll start to press your chest up off the mat, bringing your gaze forward. Continue to keep the tops of your legs resting on the mat, pressing through the hands, fingertips are wide, gaze is up, lifting the heart towards the ceiling. The gaze can even come up towards even higher on the ceiling if you'd like. Release the pose with an exhale, resting the chest and the chin back on the mat. Hi, I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick and certified yoga instructor. Right now I want to help you with your downward facing dog. So we're going to get into that pose through a high plank pose. So come with your wrists underneath your shoulders, extend the feet back into a plank. Now to come into your ideal down dog positioning, your hands and your feet won't move. Shift the hips up towards the ceiling, press through the hands, bringing the chest towards the knees. Now to start, I want you to bend your knees and really press away with your hands like you're pushing your mat up from underneath you, bringing the chest in towards the legs. Now start to straighten the legs. I'm still up on my toes, really reaching my hips up towards the ceiling. Next, you'll just start to lower the feet down towards the mat, coming into downward facing dog. Hi, I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick, and right now I want to help you work into your forward fold. If you're a beginner, I recommend that you grab a yoga block to start this move. Standing with your feet rooted down into the floor, we're going to inhale our arms up overhead, bringing the palms to touch, bending at the hips down towards the floor. Find your yoga block, place it directly under your face so that you can place your palms on it comfortably, finding a stretch through the hamstrings. If this is comfortable or you want a deeper stretch, remove the block, bringing the palms or fingertips down to the mat. Let your head relax, the crown of the head gets heavy, maybe shaking your head no, just to make sure that it's released out of the spine. Holding this here, maybe playing with shifting the weight forward on the toes. And if you have an advanced practice or you have a lot of flexibility in the hamstrings today, continue to work the hands back towards the heels, maybe wrapping around the legs. Standing forward fold. I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick, and today we're going to work through chair pose. This is an endurance posture depending on how long you hold it in your practice. So we're going to start with our feet, toes spread, all of the feet making contact with the floor. Keep your big toes and your ankles to touch. Next, you're going to sit back like you're sitting in a chair. So shift your hips back, bending the knees, keeping the knees above the toes. Next, I want you to lift your chest high and keep it lifted. Then you're going to increase the hands up towards the ceiling, aiming to bring the biceps by the ears. If you find yourself here, then stand up a little bit more, taking less depth out of the posture so that you can bring your biceps up by your ears. Make sure your tailbone is tucked under so you remove the sway from your low back, and then continue to challenge yourself by finding depth in your seat. Hi, I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick, and right now I'd like to work into crescent lunge with you. So we're going to start with our feet together at the back of our mat, stepping the right foot forward, toes facing the short front edge of your mat. Go ahead and find your wide lunging posture. So knee is directly over the ankle, back foot is engaged. Press the heel back towards the back of your space, engaging the front of the leg so that the knee is straight. We don't want to have our knee bent down here. We want to engage the leg, lengthening back through the heel. Make sure your hips are square. You can do that by picturing the right hip driving back and the left hip driving forward. That will square your hips. Now, to increase the intensity in this posture, all you're going to do is depth. So if all you have today is right here, that's great. That's your crescent lunge. If you want to find a little bit more intensity, bend the front knee deeper, dropping the hips down towards the mat. On an inhale, you'll bring your arms up over your head, drop the shoulders down away from the ears. And if you have an advanced yoga practice, you can bring the palms to touch and add a slight back bend for full crescent lunge. On an exhale, step forward, bring your feet together, hands to heart center, finding your breath. I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick, and today we're going to start in Warrior One. So start with your feet together at the back of your space. Lift tall through the crown of the head, shoulders down away from the ears. Step your front foot forward to the front edge of your mat. Turn the back foot slightly so that the back pinky edge of your foot is still maintaining contact with the mat. Now I want you to check your hips. Hips are square to the front edge of the mat in Warrior One. So drive the left hip forward, pressing the right hip back, coming into a lunge position. Next, on an inhale, bring your arms up, shoulders down away from the ears, biceps tucked right in there by the ears. Turn your pinkies in just a little bit so that your shoulders can slide all the way down the back of their sockets. Continue to breathe here, finding some peace and some stillness in Warrior One. Hi, I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick, and Hi, I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick, and right now we're going to practice side angle together. So we're going to come into a lunge position here, front toes facing the short edge of your mat, back foot at a 45-degree angle, pinky edge on the mat. We're going to bend our front leg, bring our arms into Warrior Two arms. Now we're going to shift our weight forward just a little bit, bringing our bent arm to rest on our front leg. Keeping the hips in line here, imagine yourself fitting in between two panes of glass. Bring your left hand up over to reach with the bicep right by the ear. This is it. This is extended side angle. Stay right here, find your breath, maybe taking your gaze up under the bicep towards the ceiling. If you have a more advanced practice and you want to take it to an intermediate level, you can straighten the front arm, dropping it down towards the mat, opening up the chest, looking up towards the fingertips. If you have an advanced yoga practice and you practice side angle, you might choose to take the bind. I'm going to turn around and show you what the bound arms look like behind your back. So my lower body is in exactly the same position. I'll come through extended side angle. I'm going to drop my right arm down towards the mat, bring the left arm wrap around, bring the fingertips to touch. In bound side angle, gaze comes up towards the ceiling over the left shoulder. On an exhale, release back up to Warrior Two, finding the completion of your pose. Hi, I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick, and today we're going to get into triangle pose. We're going to get into this pose by starting in our Warrior Two. So front toes are facing the short side of your mat. Back toes are a 45-degree angle, wide enough so that you can keep the pinky edge of your back foot down on the mat. Finding a bend in your front knee, extend your arms out over the legs. To get into triangle pose, we're going to straighten the front leg of our warrior pose. Next, I want you to shift the torso forward, reaching the front fingers as far as you can over the front foot before you start to fold down towards the mat. In triangle pose, we want to stack the shoulders and the hips. So find a twist in the torso so that the left shoulder is directly above the right shoulder. Left hip turns directly above the right hip. Now, if you're a beginner, a yoga block is priceless in this pose. So find your yoga block and place it right in front of your front leg ankle. Again, what it'll look like with your block is you're going to straighten the front leg, shifting forward, find your block. Even if you're not a beginner, I recommend trying this pose with a block to really practice opening the shoulders and finding that twist so that the shoulders and the hips can stack. Bend the front knee, release the front hand, coming back up to complete your pose. Hi, I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick and certified yoga instructor. Today we're going to work on our standing half moon posture. This is a balancing posture that if you've never practiced before, I would encourage you to find a yoga block, a stack of books, a chair, anything to help you balance as you learn to find your depth. So we're going to start in a lunging position, sort of like warrior two legs. Front toes are facing towards the front of the mat, back foot bladed down along the pinky edge of the leg. We're going to start by coming forward, finding your hand on the floor. Now, if you're a beginner, right now I want you to find your block and put it on the tallest setting that you can put it. Whatever you're using, make it as tall as you can. Bring your right hand to your right hip and shift your weight forward. You may have to move your block to find where it's comfortable for you. Coming to balance on your left foot. Keep the right foot flexed, toes are pointing down towards the floor, putting as much weight as you need to into that block. Now I want you to dial your right toes out. So you're opening your top hip, shining the right hip up towards the ceiling. Once you have this, you can extend the top hand up for an added degree of difficulty. You can start to lower your block closer to the floor. Woo. Stick with it. You may wobble, but just don't give up. Finally, finding the full expression of the posture, left hand on the floor, right hand high. Stepping the right foot down, forward fold to finish your posture. Hi, I'm Real Mom Fitness model Jean Sherfick and certified yoga instructor. I want to walk you through Hero's Pose. Hero's Pose can be a little bit intense on the knees, so if you have a knee injury or tight knees, I'm going to offer a modification at the beginning. Hero's Pose is also great for meditation. It can take a lot of determination and strength to stay in this pose for an extended period of time. So if meditation is a part of your life, try doing it in Hero's Pose next time. So start in a simple kneeling posture. We're going to eventually be dropping our hips in between our feet down towards the mat. So if you have a yoga block, you might want to use this to start if you've never attempted this pose before. Spread your feet just a little bit wider than hip width and place the block in between your feet and lower your bottom down onto the block. So this is a great place to start. In Hero's Pose, you always want to be sitting tall through the crown of the head, and it's really important that your big toes point in towards each other, wrapping around the hips. So to start, you can just sit here, keeping the knees together, contact in the front, hands down towards the mat, shoulders away from the ears. If you're ready to take it a little bit farther, you can slide the block out from underneath you, letting the sit bones point down towards the mat, making contact in between the feet. Again, you want to sit tall, reach the crown of the head up, shoulders down away from the ears, hands can come to the floor, palms to touch, and continue to be aware of your breath. Try staying here for 10, 12 breaths and see where it feels different in your body. Maybe you have tightness in your knees, maybe it's in your hips. But Hero's Pose is a pose of determination, so just stick with it. If you have a more advanced practice, you can go ahead and recline your heroes. So start by dropping back on the forearms. Gaze is over the knees, being mindful that the knees stay in contact with the floor and touching each other. You can stay right here, but if you're an advanced yogi, you can go ahead and try the full expression of the pose. We're gonna drop back all the way, shoulder blades to the floor. Inhale, reaching the arms up over the head, maybe closing the eyes and spending some time in meditation here. Now to come up out of the pose, just go back the way from which you came. So offer some support with your hands, finding some release in the knees. You did it. Hi, I'm Real Mom fitness model Jean Sherfick and certified yoga instructor. Today I want to help you into your standing wide leg forward fold. So start by bringing the feet out to a comfortable distance past the hips. The wider the feet, the more intense the stretch is going to be as you fold forward. If you're a beginner, grab a yoga block for this one. You'll find a much more comfortable fold without putting too much strain on the hamstrings. Starting with the hands on the hips, lift the chest forward, folding forward at the hips, keeping your spine in a flat back position, reaching through the crown of the head. If you're going to use your block, grab it now and place it right in front of you on the floor. Bring your hands to the block, finding a fold that's comfortable for you. If you want to take it a little bit further, remove the block, bringing the palms down towards the floor. Now release the head, let the crown of the head be heavy towards the floor. For more of a stretch, you can walk, heel-toe the feet out to the sides and continue to walk the hands back underneath the legs, bringing the crown of the head towards the floor. Hi, I'm Real Mom fitness model Jean Sherfick. And now we're going to work through staff pose together. Staff pose is a seated posture that's designed to help with flexibility in the hamstrings. So we're going to start seated, sit bones down into the mat, and extend the legs straight out in front. Now this may be difficult enough for you, so I invite you to just stay right here. The idea is that you're rooted down through your sit bones, but reaching tall through the crown of the head. Drop the hands down to the sides. Now this will look different for everybody because our arms are all different lengths. Maybe you can straighten your arms out but keep your shoulders away from the ears. Me, I have long arms, so my arms are going to be bent in order to keep my shoulders down away from my ears. Flex the toes back towards the knees, sitting up tall, engaging the quadriceps. It looks easy enough, but I invite you to sit here for 6 to 8 breaths, keeping the core engaged, the crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling and the feet flexed back towards the knees. Hi, I'm Real Mom fitness model Jean Sherfick, and we're going to explore boat pose together, which is a great way to engage and activate the core in your yoga practice. So start in a seated position, bend the knees, bring the feet to the floor. We're going to start by dropping our chest back, but lifting the heart up towards the ceiling. So for the beginner pose, I want you to lift your feet up off the mat, engage the abdominals by bringing the belly button in towards the spine. My hands are still on the backs of my knees here. This is totally fine. If you're a beginner, I want you to start right here. Hold this pose, lifting the chest up towards the ceiling, breathing in and out in the pose. Now for an intermediate option, you can release the hands forward towards the feet. Again, lift the chest up. We don't want to round our back in this pose. It does not help us engage our abdominals. And instead, we want to lift the chest. Knees are still bent here. Breathing, engaging the core, belly button towards the spine. Now, if you have more of an advanced practice and you want to straighten the legs, that's going to increase the length of your lever, which makes it a little bit harder. So point the toes, extend the feet out. Again, lift the chest up, breathing through the pose, releasing the feet to the floor to complete the pose. As long as you hold the pose increases the intensity. So the more breaths you stay in it, the harder it is. Try just starting with one breath and then release your pose if you're a beginner. Hi, I'm Real Mom fitness model Jean Sherfick, and right now we're going to practice our tree pose together. This is a standing balance posture that's accessible to everyone. We're going to start on our left foot being our roots. So start by bending the right knee, coming to a full spread out left foot. Spread your toes, feel contact with all four corners of your feet. Next, I want you to bring your hands towards your heart, pressing your palms together. This helps you find some balance, giving every part of your body some intention. Go ahead and turn the knee out towards the side, opening up the right hip. My toes are still on the ground here. Engage the core, make sure the pelvis is in line, and slowly start to lift the right foot up the leg. Check your balance here with your right leg against your left calf muscle. If you feel really comfortable here, you can increase the height of your right foot up over the knee. But the key to tree pose is to never put pressure on the knee joint itself. You'll find your balance by increasing the tension between the right foot and the left leg. I'm pressing my foot into my leg to find my balance. To finish off your posture, make sure the ears and the shoulders have some distance between them and the crown of your head is reaching up towards the ceiling. Hi, I'm Real Mom fitness model Jean Sherfick, and right now I want to walk you through locust pose. So start laying on your belly, everything resting on your mat. You're going to interlace your fingers behind your tailbone and press your hands away, bringing the shoulders down away from the ears. Begin lifting the chest, pressing the hands back behind you, peeling the heart up off the floor. Now we're going to engage the quadriceps and the hamstrings and lift the feet up off the floor, coming into a back bend on your belly. Breathe, inhale and exhale into your belly. Feel your stomach press into the mat here, releasing the pose on an exhale, coming back to resting on your mat. Hi, I'm Real Mom fitness model Jean Sherfick, and right now we're going to practice our Warrior 3 pose. Warrior 3 is a standing balance posture that challenges every muscle in your lower body. We're going to start at the back of our space with both feet on the floor. Next, I want you to step forward, right leg, and we're coming into a balance on our right leg. So shift your weight forward onto the right foot. Gaze is down over the front edge of your mat. Slowly start to bend forward at the hips, keeping the hips square. A lot of us want to find height in our back foot, so we start to open. But in Warrior 3, our hips are down and square towards the mat. So leaning forward, hinging at the hips, keeping a straight back, flexing the back foot, coming forward into a forward bend. You have a couple options for your hands here. You can bring your hands to heart center. You can fly your hands back, reverse airplane arms, or you can extend the arms out overhead for a full expression of the pose. Exit your posture on an exhale, coming back to standing both feet on the mat. Hi, I'm Real Mom fitness model Jean Sherfick, and we're going to walk through reverse plank or incline plank. So we're going to start in a seated position, knees are bent, feet on the floor. We're going to drop our hands back behind our hips just by about 2 inches, and our fingertips point forward towards our toes. We're going to start by lifting the hips up, coming into a reverse tabletop. So you want a straight line from your knees through your belly up to your shoulders. And you want to keep your spine neutral by keeping your head in line here. So feel free, beginners, hold it right here. This is a great way to engage the glutes and the abs. Your shoulders are active, your quads are active, everything right here. So hold this, continuing your breath through your belly. Alternatively, let's go ahead and extend our legs for a full incline plank. So you're just going to straighten the legs, feet come to touch on the mat, lifting the hips, dropping the head back to keep the spine neutral. Always breathing through the belly. lowering the hips, coming back to a seated position to end your pose. I'm Real Mom fitness model Jean Sherfick, and right now we're going to work towards lotus pose. Lotus pose is excellent for meditation, but I have to say it's very intense on the knees. So if you have a previous knee injury or you have really tight knees, take it really slow and find some assistance with your yoga block. So start in a simple seated cross-legged position. We'll start by getting into half lotus. So you bend one ankle, keep your foot flexed really hard in this pose, and bring the heel into the crease between the left leg and the left hip. This would be half lotus pose. If this is really uncomfortable for you, if your hips are tight or your knees are finding some discomfort, take your block, scoot your left leg out of the way a little bit, and rest your right knee on the yoga block. That takes a little bit of tension out of the hips, and there's less pressure on both knees. Try sitting here for 3 to 5 breaths and see if you loosen up any. If you'd like to go a little bit further, you can take your left foot now. Again, keep the feet flexed. It protects the knee joints here. Bringing the left heel into the crease of the right hip, dropping the left knee down towards the floor. If you can get your feet into full lotus, but you're finding that you have to shift the hips back, again, use your block, place it under the left knee so that you can bring the sit bones forward to touch on the mat. Find a comfortable position for your hands, close your eyes, and practice your meditation in lotus pose. Hi, I'm Real Mom fitness model Jean Sherfick, and right now I want to walk you through camel pose. This is a great back bending exercise, and it also really releases the front body. If you're a beginner, it's great to have a yoga block for this posture, and we're going to start with our toes tucked up on the mat. So keeping your knees and your hips in line, we're going to slowly reach back towards our heels. Drop the head so that the spine is neutral, and just start right here. If this is comfortable for you, then you can take your block to just add a couple inches of depth to your practice. So keep your feet flexed, but see how the block is just a little bit shorter than my feet. This time I can come back and reach towards my block and find just a little bit more depth in my back bend. If you have a more advanced yoga practice, you can lower your feet, tops of the feet to the mat, keeping the hips in line with the knees, drop the hands back to find the bottoms of the feet, rotating the shoulder blades back around the heart, dropping the head, coming into the full expression. Always come up slowly and give yourself time to catch your breath when you come out of the pose. Hi, I'm Real Mom fitness model Jean Sherfick, and today we're going to work into dancer's pose. Dancer is a standing balance posture. So we're going to start with our feet, making a nice foundation in the left foot. So go ahead and bend your right knee, bringing the weight into the left foot. Spread the left toes wide. Bend the right foot, bringing the right foot up towards the hand, and go ahead and hold onto it tight. Bring your left hand forward, palm up. We're slowly going to start to bend forward at the waist, but you have to also put pressure with the right foot into the right palm. So press the top of your right foot into your right palm as you reach forward over the left fingers, bringing the right foot up towards the ceiling. Now, to increase the difficulty here, all you're going to do is continue to reach forward, pressing the right foot into the right hand to find some added height in your dancer pose. Hi, I'm Real Mom fitness model Jean Sherfick, and right now I want to walk you through a pose called Birds of Paradise. This pose has lots of progressions to get to the full expression of the pose, so no matter where you are in your yoga practice, this one is for you. We're going to start with our feet just a little bit wider than hip width apart, and we're going to come into a forward fold. I want you to find the back of your right heel with your right hand. Start twisting the left shoulder up towards the ceiling, and this may be enough for you today. If it is, stay right here and just work on this twist in a forward fold. To take it one step further, widen the stance just a little bit, bringing the right hand back behind the right knee. You're going to bring your left hand to meet your right hand behind your leg. Straighten the left leg, shift the weight into the left foot. Again, this bind right here may be enough for you today, and this is your entrance into birds of paradise, so work it right here. If you're ready to try to stand up into the pose, you're going to bring all of your weight, spread your left toes, coming up to a standing position. Good. So this is a birds of paradise without the right leg extended, and this is a great place to stay. If this feels challenging, like you might fall over, or just, this feels comfortable today, then keep this as a part of your practice. Make sure that your left leg is fully extended, toes are spread on your foot, reaching through the crown of the head, finding your balance in this posture. If you're ready to take it to the full expression of the posture, then find length through the right toes. On an exhale, return the foot back to a standing mountain pose. Hi, I'm Real Mom fitness model Jean Sherfick, and right now we're going to work on shoulder stand pose. Shoulder stand is an inversion posture that helps cleanse the brain with fresh blood from the toes. It's a really great part of your practice, but I do recommend that you do it in the beginning part of the day. Doing inversions too close to bedtime can keep some people up late at night. So we're going to start by laying on our back, flex the toes. Next, you're going to use your hands to support yourself, bringing the hips up off the ground. Start by aligning the hips up over towards the shoulders. Next, you're going to work the feet up. This takes a lot of core strength here, so engage the abdominals, bringing the heels up over the hips, and support your back with your hands this whole time, trying to make a straight line from your heels to your knees to your hips. Protect your cervical spine here up by your neck by keeping your shoulders down away from the ears, and never going so far forward with the feet over the head that you feel any crunch in your neck. Coming out of this posture, slowly start to lower the vertebrae one at a time down towards the mat, supporting yourself with your hands, coming back into a reclined position. I'm Real Mom fitness model Jean Sherfick, and we're going to work into a spinal bend here that is called plow pose. So start by laying on your back and bring the feet up towards the ceiling in what's called legs up the wall pose. This is a great place for beginners to start and just start to feel comfortable. To take the pose into its full expression, we're going to use our abs to actually shorten our front body and lift our hips up off the ground. So if you're new to this pose, just play inch by inch, bringing your toes back over your head towards the floor. So you can use your hands for support, lift your hips up, start to peel one vertebrae off the mat at a time, keeping your shoulders down away from your ears. You compress the spinal vertebrae in your neck. But we're gonna just continue to walk the toes back towards the back of our mat above our head. Once you make contact with the floor, release your hands for the full advanced expression of this pose and continue to press your hips back. Bringing your hips directly over your shoulders is the goal. But always, always, always protect your neck by keeping your ears and your shoulders separated. To come out of the pose, give your low back some more support and lower the hips vertebrae one at a time until your hips come back resting on the mat. Take this pose slow and always protect your spine.